All right, welcome everybody. Stephen Michael Miller here. Glad for everyone that's here in person as well as everyone that's visiting us online. If you're just coming on, I apologize. We're starting just a couple minutes late, so thank you for your patience and for hanging on while we're getting everything set up. Had a couple technical things that we had to figure out, and I think we're up and rolling now. So first of all, I hope everyone had a really happy holiday. We're here. This is the last Strongbrook Live before the new year. And if you're here, that means you're making really great decisions for yourself going into 2016 to really make 2016 hopefully the very best year ever. And that's what we're here for, and that's really what I want to focus on today is how do we make 2016 better than any other year that we have had in the past. It's interesting for me, as I go around talking to people all over the nation, and no offense to everyone in the room, I often will be speaking to the camera as well. But as we've got people that I speak to all over the nation, and we get to this time of year, most individuals are thinking about what their successes were from last year, as well as what their failures were from last year. And they're trying to figure out what they can do to improve upon what they were able to do last year. And we get into this New Year's resolution phase. One of my friends calls it a New Year's revolution, right? You really want to just change everything that you're doing and do things differently so that you can receive and create a different outcome. So I want you to be thinking about what your New Year's revolution is going to be. What do you want to accomplish going into 2016? And the reality is, and what I know and what I read about all the time, actually one of my favorite books here I've got with me, this is Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. Love this book. I've read it several times. What I love about this book is it talks about the things that we think about are the things that we actually create. What we dwell on, what we consider, the things that we are constantly thinking about are the things that are going to come to pass. And so what our thoughts are usually end up being what we will act upon, right? If we think about it, we'll end up doing something about it. And if our actions become our habits and our habits become our destiny, it's a lot of what that talks about. So how can we change what we think about and change our actions? Because if we don't, then we'll continue to get the same results. So that's what we're here to talk about a little bit today. Of course, we're going to get into real estate and a few other things as well. But I want to talk about creating wealth in every part of our life. That's really what Strongbrook is all about. And so as we get into today, I'm going to be focusing on a few different things. And Carson, would you mind just flipping the screen so I can see it? I want to talk about the agenda for today because I really want to focus in on 4 different things. Number 1, are my decisions working for or against me? Now, hopefully, again, as you're looking back into last year, you were able to see whether your decisions were able to help you or not, right? So are my decisions working for or against me? Number 2, what is my retirement number? What is your retirement number? What do you want that to be? What does that look like? What would you need to live on a monthly basis? We're going to talk about residual income in just a little bit, but I want you to be thinking about that. What is my retirement number? Number 3, who's in control of my financial destiny? Are you beholden to somebody else, a system, a job, or are you creating your own financial destiny and outcome? And then number 4, am I taking full advantage of my freedom to create my dream life? So take a moment for a second as you're sitting here watching this. If you've got a pen and paper, you're going to want to have that. If not, get out your phone and take some notes here. But I want you to think about what your dream life is. What does that look like for you? Do you have still in your mind that American dream, right? We live in America, most of us here. I think that we may have some people online that aren't here in America, but we often talk about this American dream. And the American dream is the ability to create the life that you want, create this end game the way that we actually want it and the way that we want to create it. So I want to talk about this. So first of all, we know that few workers today are truly confident that they're going to receive the retirement that they desire. And actually, we know that $1 million, that used to be enough. We used to think that if I could just get that $1 million mark, that I'll be okay. If I can just earn that $1 million, I can live off some residuals and I'll be okay. But the reality is it's not enough today. $1 million just isn't going to cut it any longer. We know that 60% of people at retirement have less than $25,000 saved. Or in other words, 60% of people that are at retirement age have less than $25,000 saved. And that just means that we don't have enough to live on. We have to be dependent on other things. One of those things is Social Security. And my question for you that says tomorrow is Social Security even going to be around tomorrow? And maybe tomorrow, but down the road a little bit, is it going to be available? And is it something that we want to have available? Do we want that to live on? Do we want to depend on that? Right here it says 67% of us at retirement depend on Social Security for 50% of our income. That's a lot of dependency. And 33% of us depend upon it for 90% of our income. So a life on Social Security, I don't believe, is what we're really looking for. That's not the American dream, right? A life on Social Security is, you're looking at, on average, $1,000 a month maybe. And can you go and visit your grandkids on that? Can you go and do the things that you want? Can you live your dreams based on a life on Social Security? I don't believe so. And so we need to do something to bridge this gap a little bit, because what we don't want is to end up having to go back in retirement and go back and work retail. And this is a true scenario for a lot of people. They leave their job, they retire from their job, their career that they've worked so hard at, and they end up having to go back to retail or doing something and go back to work where they have a limited income, no cash flow, reduced quality of life, anger, frustration, missed opportunities, all these different things. So I want you to think about this. Again, are my decisions that I'm making right now bankrupting me? Are my decisions helping me to get to that retirement that I want? Or are they leading me down some other path where I end up somewhere where I didn't want to be? So what I want to do real quick is I want to talk about personal development. And you may ask yourself, well, why here we're talking about wealth? Why am I talking about the mind? Why am I talking about improving the mind or developing myself personally? And the reality that I have learned over and over and over again is that no matter where you are in life, if you want to grow, if you want to grow your pocketbook, if you want to grow your financial status, you have to grow yourself. You have to be willing to change the way you think. We talked about this in the beginning just a little bit. But if we're constantly operating off the same platform, off the same operating system up here, then all of our actions are going to give us the same output. It's going to put out the same thing. We have to change our operating system. We talk about the real estate between our ears. In order for us to truly change who we are and change our financial outcome, we have to change the way we think, which will change what we do, right? So I want to talk about this for just a minute. I want you to think about how many mistakes you could have avoided by getting expert advice. Meaning, if you had someone in your corner that was helping you, day in and day out, helping you know, hey, careful there, step over that stumbling block so you don't have to stumble and fall yourself. If you had someone like that helping you, how many mistakes, how much pain, anguish, life, how much of that could you have avoided had you had expert advice? Well, I want to show you someone right here. You probably recognize this gentleman. This is Michael Jordan. If you don't watch basketball, that's okay. He's one of the best in basketball, best there ever was. He's retired now, and does he coach? I don't remember if he coaches now. He did coach for a while. But Michael Jordan, known as one of the greatest in basketball, he's got endorsements with Nike. He's earning over $80 million a year just in his Nike endorsements. That's from Forbes magazine in 2015. He's got a net worth of $1 billion. And so this guy, he's had a lot of success. Most athletes, if you ever follow athletes and what they do, there's actually a show, I can't remember the name of it now, but it goes through the lives of these kids who, at 18 or 19 or 20, they get drafted into the NBA or drafted in the NFL. They make all this money real fast. Sometimes they get injured and then they have nothing left, right? So just because they're great at basketball doesn't mean they're great business people. But here's Michael Jordan, who did something different. He did something extraordinary. And I want you to ask yourself, why did he do something so extraordinary? Well, I'll read this quote real quick. It says, "Other than my parents, no one had a bigger influence on my life than Coach Smith." Now, Coach Smith was the coach when he played for North Carolina, the Tar Heels, in his college years, okay? He said, "No one had a bigger influence on my life than Coach Smith. He was more than a coach. He was my mentor, my teacher, my second father. Coach was always there for me whenever I needed him, and I loved him for it. In teaching me the game of basketball, he taught me about life." So here's Michael Jordan attributing his success to his coach, to the coach in his life, a man who was able to help him not just in basketball, but in life in general. And you see the results that he was able to create. So my question for all of us is, how do we create this level of success? How do we create new levels of success? Have you ever felt to yourself that you're kind of always hitting the ceiling, right? In whatever aspect of life might be, but let's just talk about finances for a second. Have you ever felt that you always just kind of hit the ceiling? And you may break through for just a minute, but then all of a sudden something happens and brings you right back down and smacks you right to that same comfortable level, right? That same ceiling. This is how do we open up that ceiling and go just blow past it? This is what we want to ask. How do we create that new level of success so the ceiling actually increases, raises, and eventually gets thrown off? And in my experience, the only way to do this, or one of the fastest ways to do this, I won't say the only, but one of the fastest ways to do this is to have mentors in our life. People like Coach Smith for Michael Jordan. People that can help us and help us understand what we need to do to accelerate our success and to avoid some of those different speed bumps that we were talking about earlier. So what are some traits of a mentor? Oftentimes these mentors are inspirational people. They enable opportunities in our lives or open up different doors for us. Oftentimes they help us to improve social and financial status. They're masters of success. Oftentimes they'll help us to break through our blocks that we might have, or again, eliminate that ceiling, get it out of the way so that we can see much greater success. So these are some traits of mentors that we might be wanting to look for. And I want to ask you a question. I want you to just imagine for a second. Okay, imagine for yourselves, what if you were committed to 30 minutes a day with some of the top mentors in the world? What if you had 30 minutes a day where you could learn from some of the top individuals in the world that could help you to change the way you think a little bit? Because again, if you change the way you think, you change the way you act, correct? If you change the way you think, you change the way you act. So just imagine that you had access to some of the greatest mentors in the world and that you could, for 30 minutes a day, learn and grow. Things that would transform your life. Well, I'll tell you, I'm really excited because honestly, this is what we've done. This is part of what we've done here at Strongbrook to help you grow financially. Is we understand that in order to help you grow financially, you've got to grow mentally. You've got to change the way you think a little bit. And so we've got mentors here in our corner, people like Dan Clark, world-class business trainer, Les Brown, world leader in motivation, or Kevin Harrington, one of the original sharks on ABC Shark Tank, if you've ever watched that show. Phenomenal individuals, and many more. And what we've done is we've made this available for 24/7 access. We've got hundreds of thousands of dollars of world-class mentorship available 24/7, all on an app. And I don't have my phone here in my hand, but is my phone over there? That's all right. I don't need it. But you can access it directly from your phone. I think I even have a picture here. Whether you've got an iPhone, an Android, an iPad, or directly from your computer, you can start accessing this amazing information and start changing your life. And so I want to help you, first of all, and understand what you can do. It's really simple. You just download the app, you install it on your phone, and then you start to learn 24/7. And this is actually a gift that we're making available for free. So if you're watching right now and you don't already have this app, let me just encourage you right now, pull out your phone. I don't care if it's an Apple or an Android, just pull out your phone. You're going to want to go onto either the App Store or Google Play and search Strongbrook. Now I'll spell that real quick. It's up there if you can see it. If not, it's STRONGBROOK, Strongbrook. Okay, search that. You'll create a free account, and then you will need an invitation code. So if you haven't already received, the person that invited you to come and watch this tonight, you're going to want to get that invitation code for them. It is a free experience, but it is by invite only, so it's exclusive. So make sure you go to them, get that invite code if you don't have it already, download the app, put in the invite code, and start listening for free, 30 minutes a day. It's fantastic. And by the way, when you love it, because you will, you'll want to share it, and you can share it for free as well, and you'll get a little invite code that you can also use to share that as well. So that's just a free gift that I wanted to give everyone right now. Now, personal development, that daily exercise is so important, that we actually take our efforts, and every single day we work on ourselves to change the ways that we think. I know there's a lot of individuals that say, you know what, I just want to get a really big jump start. I want to just jump all in, and 30 minutes a day is great for going on and continuing on, but I want to immerse myself for a little bit. And for those individuals, we have something called we call our Limitless event, and this is all about mindset training. This is all about getting through some of those limiting beliefs that are holding us back. And specifically, this event is all about claiming your birthright of prosperity and abundance. It's all about unlocking the transforming power of your body and your mind. It's about learning the secrets, the trade secrets to mastering your mind, or breaking through your biggest blocks so that you can crush Your results, again, if you've every single year at this time of year said to yourself, this next year is going to be my greatest year ever, and then you realize that this year is kind of the same as it's always been, same as every other year, well then you may have some limiting beliefs. This event, Limitless, is phenomenal in helping people blow past those blocks. We want to talk about limitless wealth. Here's a couple. This is Jason Westover. And he said, when we came to Limitless, we had $15 in our bank account, and we're 9 months behind on our house. Since Limitless, we have created over $33,000. I am limitless. What a fantastic result that he was able to create there. We talk about limitless health. Here's Gary Norris. He said, I've lost 54 pounds in 90 days with Limitless. And he hasn't achieved his goal yet. He's still going forward. He's still losing weight now, and it's exciting to see this transformation that he's having in his physical health. Limitless connection. Here's Marianne DeNovelis, and she says, Anthony and I had decided to separate, and then Limitless taught us about unconditional love. We learned how to show up in our marriage in a totally new way. This instantaneously changed our marriage for the better. So there's a wonderful example of someone who's able to connect better because of this Limitless event. Again, it's about overcoming those mental blocks, those limitations that keep us back. And then lastly, limitless power. Here's Stacy Taggart, and she said, I was a victim of illness, anxiety, and the opinion of others. At Limitless, something changed deep inside of me. I learned how I was creating my own experiences. Now I know how powerful I am, and I work every day to clear my limiting beliefs and step into my full power. So again, some individuals, they love honestly, I would say that everybody needs that daily interaction, that 30 minutes a day. But some people really want to immerse themselves in just for a great 3-day jump start. And this is a wonderful event to take advantage of. Now, we started here with mentality because, again, if we don't fix what's going on up here, we can't fix the outcome. It's cause and effect, right? This is the cause. What happens on the outside is the effect. So we've got to change up here. But I want to talk about some amazing systems that can create even a better effect for you. And so we're talking about something that we've coined facilitated real estate, where really what we're talking about is creating, managing, protecting, and growing wealth. And we utilize real estate as one of our key components in this whole equation. And why real estate, you might ask? Well, you've ever heard this, that 90% of American millionaires made their money in real estate? If you've ever heard that, it's because it's probably written in every real estate book that's out there, and it's been posted on every real estate blog that's out there. And I want you to ask yourself why. Oh, I didn't put it up here. Real estate, right? They've made their money in real estate. Why is real estate such a good thing? And if real estate's so great, why isn't everybody doing it? Like, why doesn't everyone just go out and jump into real estate? The reality is it's kind of difficult. But what real estate can provide, which a lot of other investments don't, is true financial freedom. And for a second, I want you to write down on your paper what you believe financial freedom is. Just think about it for just a second. What does that mean for you? Because it means something different to everybody. Okay? Financial freedom for you is completely probably a different definition than financial freedom for me, and different for somebody else. So what is that for you? Just take a second and write down your thoughts on what financial freedom would mean for you. And as you're writing that down, I want you to think about that dream life a little bit. I want you to think about, again, what it is that you want to create. I want you to imagine yourself in the life that you want to create right now. Imagine that you're already there, you've arrived at some point, whatever that looks like for you. How does that feel? What does it look like? What are you able to do now that you weren't able to do before? Do you have more time? Are you doing things that you love? Are you spending your time with people that you love? Or are you able to pick up that hobby that maybe you dropped, or whatever the case is? What does it look like? Okay? Now I want to give you my definition for financial freedom that I think will encompass just about everyone else's definition as well. So you can have your separate definitions, but I think this will bring maybe a little bit of clarity to even your definition. Financial freedom for me is very simply having residual income that exceeds my expenses. Right? That's financial freedom. Those can all be different numbers for everybody. That can mean something different for everybody. But that, I think, hopefully will fit into your definition. Having a residual income that exceeds your expenses. Okay? So, and when we're talking about residual income, I want to make sure that everyone is on the same page with what that means, because residual income isn't something that most people have. Residual income is income that is continuously generated after an initial investment of time, money, and effort. Okay, so you do the work once, you make the investment once, and it continues to work for you over and over and over again. That's the residual income. A lot of people call it mailbox money, hence the mailbox and the little $100 bills coming out of it, right? Mailbox money. You just go to the mailbox and it comes to you and you get to pick up those checks and cash them. Okay, that's financial freedom. Financial freedom means we can now spend our time doing what it is that we're truly passionate about, rather than spending our time doing what we feel we have to in order to pay the bills. Okay, it allows you to do more and more and more. So, again, when your residual income is greater than your expenses, you no longer have to go to work. You may choose to, and a lot of people at that point call work not work. Work for them is play, right? Work for them is fun, and it's part of their passion. And they get up every morning and they're invigorated, and they're re-energized because they get to do what it is that they love. This is the kind of life that we want for you and we think is possible for everybody. Getting that true financial freedom, that residual income exceeding expenses. So, I want to ask a question here. Who on this picture up here has the most financial freedom? Now, you probably know the answer because, you know, we're doing this on purpose, but I want you to look at it and I want you to think about what you maybe would have thought before we talked about this today, okay? Because we've got three different examples. We've got a doctor, and let's say that she's earning $250,000 a year. She's got a great annual income. She has $450,000 of combined assets. So she's doing well for herself, right? The next example, we've got a contractor over there. He's earning $86,000 a year. He's got $1 million of raw land, so he is a net worth millionaire, right? We talk about those nest eggs. He's creating a decent nest egg there. It's $1 million, and so he's a millionaire. And then we've got the third example. We've got a teacher, and let's say she's earning $40,000 a year, but she's got her assets are a little bit different, right? She's got 10 rental properties. Now, what does that mean? Well, let's look at it real quick. Those 10 rental properties for her are creating a $3,800 a month monthly residual income. So $3,800 per month, which means that if she were to lose her job or get sick and not go back to work or have to, for whatever reason, you know, quit working, she'd be taken care of, correct? That $3,800 per month is going to cover what she needs, and she'll be okay. The other two, they don't have any residual income, right? That raw land, just because it's there doesn't mean it's going to be paying him. And raw land typically doesn't pay you, right? You've got to do something to it. You've got to develop it, and then you've got to, you know, parcel it off or whatever and sell it and do whatever. So he may earn money, but if he lost his job tomorrow, he'd probably be in a really bad position. And same with the doctor. Those combined assets, those may be in the form of home equity, or a 401k, or an IRA, or who knows, right? Those may be in other forms, but they're not producing a residual income for her. So if they all lose their job tomorrow, the teacher's okay. The other two are going to be in some deep kimchi, as my father would say. All right. So we want to talk about, again, this residual income. Because it creates so much freedom, I want to delineate between the different types of income for a second. We've got earned income, which is trading our time for money, right? We all have a limited amount of time. And by the way, if you don't realize this, your time is your most valuable asset, hands down, right? We've got time, resource, money, and things like that. And what's another? And energy, right? Energy we can get back every night we sleep, and we gain more energy, right? We use it and we gain it back. Time we never get back. Money we can create more of, but time we never get back. It's the only thing that is in our lives limited, truly. So if time is limited, it's the most powerful, then how can we get more of it? How can we use more of it to do what we want to do rather than just trading that time for money, right? How do we get our money to work for ourselves? Net worth is great as well, but it's got to be converted into cash flow. This is one of the craziest things for me, and I'm not going to sit here and hound on these different eggs that you see. If you can't see them, one says IRA 401k, one says savings, and one says home equity. And those are all great buckets, but they can be used in so many better ways than what most of us are currently using them for. Currently, as they are, those aren't going to be paying you a monthly residual income. So how do I take those nest eggs and how do I safely help those to help me better, right? J.B. Shea was a French economist, and he said, creating wealth is nothing more than taking our assets from areas of low yield and putting them into areas of higher yield. That's it. Same assets, right? Just taking them from areas of low yield and putting them into areas of higher yield. And I want to stop here. I want to pause here for just a second because I think this is somewhere where we can all hopefully begin to change our thinking just a little bit. How many of you know who Warren Buffett is? We know who Warren Buffett is? Okay. Warren Buffett, for anyone who may not know, is one of the world's richest men. The guy is usually in the top 5 richest men in the world. He fluctuates depending on how many millions he's donated to charity that year, something like that. But Warren Buffett is an amazing businessman. And his philosophy, he says, before I do any investment, I invest. Well, I'm going to pause. Before I let that one out of the bag, I want you to think to yourself for a second. If I were to come to you and offer you an amazing deal, basically, if I were to say, hey, I can get you 60% on your money every year, no problem. If I were to tell you that, and I would say you can get this amazing return, this high return, what do you automatically think about? Risk, right? High return means high risk. I would say that 99% of us think that way, right? If I'm going to get this amazing high return, 60%, there's no way, right? There has to be a massive amount of risk associated with it, right? And that's the way we think. That's the way we've been programmed to think by those who have been programmed to think the same way. And usually by those who aren't part of the top 3%. Meaning people that haven't figured out, that are still going through this rat race, right? Trying to figure it out. That have bought into some of these other systems that are broken, okay? Warren Buffett thinks a little bit differently. He says, for me to get the highest return, I need to have the largest margin of safety. That's what he calls it. So what's a large margin of safety other than the lowest risk, right? Large safety means low risk, doesn't it? Right? If I've got a massive margin of safety, it means I've got the lowest risk possible, right? So he thinks, for me to get the highest return on my investment, I need to have the lowest risk. It's a little bit different than the way we think, isn't it? We think high investment, high investment possibilities, high return, high risk. He says high return, low risk. And I would challenge, I want you just to think about this for a second. Is that maybe one of the leading reasons why he's more successful than most of us? Is that he thinks differently. Okay, just think about that. So, and of course, residual income, that's true financial freedom. So, if you stopped working today, how long could you last before you had to go back to work, before you had to get another job? Let's just think about that. Again, where is your residual income? Where is your financial freedom barometer? Where is it right now? Is it good? Is it helping you, or can it be better? Okay, this is what we're trying to get at here. And how much money would you need to generate $5,000 a month? Now, I want you to assume that you would get a 4% annual dividend, which is really easy to get in a variety of different financial products, right? So let's just say you were able to get a 4% annual dividend to earn you $5,000 a month of residual income. Now, some of you watching may say, $5,000 a month, that's just not even enough. And some of you may say $5,000 a month would be great, right? Again, everyone's in a different place, and that's okay. But how much money would you need to accumulate, to generate, to get to that level? It's $1.5 million, okay? $1.5 million. Now I want to break this down real quick, and I want you to help you understand what you would need to do on a monthly basis over the next 20 years. If you don't already have $1.5 million, which most Americans are spending 100% of what they earn. Again, what was it? 60% of people don't have $25,000 or have $25,000 or less in a retirement account at retirement age. So if we're spending almost 100% of what we earn, or some of us 110% of what we earn, we're putting it on credit cards and racking up debt and all this kind of stuff, how much money would we need to save per month over a 20-year time span? And I will give you the benefit of the doubt. I'll say that you're all amazing investors and that you were able to generate and invest that money every single month at a 10.8% interest rate with the S&P 30-year average, okay, 10.8%. And you're able to do that 20 years in a row and multiply your money that way. How much money would you need to save every single month for 20 years? The answer is $1,798. So $1,798 is what you would need to save every single month. Now, a lot of people don't even make that, right? So we need to do something to bridge the gap. And here's what I'm here to talk about today, which is Strongbrook, and what we offer here on the financial side. Not only are we helping people change their mentality and change the way they think about money and the way they think about life and what they can do, but we're here to help them learn how they can actually change their financial outlook, how they can bridge that gap that is there for most of us, right? We need to bridge that gap. So who are we? We're a team of over 200 licensed professionals who eat, breathe, sleep, and love real estate. Why? Because real estate is powerful when done the right way. And we're going to talk about the facilitated part of that in just a minute. We've got hundreds of years of combined professional experience. We've got over, this says 2,000, we've got actually over 3,000 clients in every single one of the 50 states. So we've been around the block a little bit. We know what we're doing. We've tested and tried it. We'll show you our track record here in just a bit. And we launched back in 2007. We've proven how to successfully invest in up and down markets. Okay, you know how the markets will fluctuate, right? They'll do it every time and every year. It's cyclical. It happens all the time. How do we properly navigate through that? Well, that's what we do for our clients, so they don't have to worry about it themselves. In 2010, we underwent an SEC investigation. They engaged in a review of our claims and our practices, and the neat thing about that was, as a result, we didn't have to change any of our practices, any of our processes or procedures, and we've become a much stronger and more organized company for it. So I don't know if anyone of you know how to do more research than the SEC does, but they're funded federally, so they're pretty good at it. And we came out with flying colors. And then residual income, business opportunity. We've paid out over $5 million in commissions since 2012 to people that have just helped us find other investors that would fit into our model. We'll talk about that in a minute as well. And we've transacted over $500 million in real estate with our clients. That's over $500 million of real estate that we've done with our clients. So do we know what we're talking about? Yeah. Is this guesswork for us? It's not. And we have an amazing track record to show. So I'm going to get into these two different options. Option number one is learn it and do it yourself. We've got a lot of people that want to just get into real estate. They want to do it on their own. They don't want to hire a power team necessarily. They just want to learn it and do it. And you can definitely do that. Or option number two is you can learn it and we do it for you. So I'm going to talk about both of these different options, starting with the first one, because both are great ways. Option number one, learn it and do it yourself. We have and we hold quarterly trainings that we call REIC Academy. Now, REIC Academy is Real Estate Investors Community Academy, okay? And this is all about learning it and doing it yourself. And specifically, I'm going to go through a few different bullets here of what we teach. First of all, how to do no money down deals right away, okay? How to transact deals in your backyard with big equity. Everyone, I think, wants to learn how to do that. How to identify the best markets, right? Where do I want to be investing? Where do I want to do my real estate transactions? How to get paid thousands for bird dog networking without a license, right? How do I make money in real estate if I don't have a license? Do I have to be a realtor? No. Are there some advantages to being a realtor? Sure. Yeah, so we'll talk about that. How money is really made when you're flipping deals. So how do we actually make the money in flipping? You've probably seen all those different shows, flip this house, flip that house, flip all these houses. I don't know what the names of them are. A new one comes out every day almost, it seems. But anyway, we want to show you how the real money is made. We've flipped hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of homes. So we can show exactly what we've done and how we've done that. And a whole lot more, of course, as well. We also give exclusive access to our private money fund, industry experts, insider tips and tricks, special money-making events that we hold, networking with other members to do deals, actual live deals that are available for purchase or participation, and then, of course, some things that are changing right now in the whole outlook of real estate investing is this concept of crowdfunding. Now, this isn't something that has been, it's not finalized yet. This is kind of still in the making and still in the running, but everything looks like it's going to go this direction where you're going to be able to crowdfund deals. In the past, there's been a lot of, just a lot of legal tape to get through in order to allow someone who doesn't have a full down payment on a house to be able to, to bring money together and be able to go out and purchase a deal with a large number of people. But this is something that could potentially open up the possibility for someone that doesn't have $30,000 as a down payment on a investment property, but maybe they've got $1,000, maybe they've got $500 that they'd like to earn a really great return on, and this could possibly make a lot of that available. We've been doing a sort of crowdfunding in the past for what's the word I'm looking for? For investors that are accredited. So people that are accredited, if you are an accredited investor, you know what that means. And it was really difficult for us to be able to work with people that were unaccredited. And this is going to change the rules a little bit to that. And so you'll have access to our know-how we've been doing over the last 8 years on the accredited side, which is really easily swapped over to the other as well. Very excited about that, and a whole lot more. So I'm going to switch gears now and talk about option number 2, which is learn it now and we do it for you. What does this facilitated real estate mean? Strongbrook's power team of over 200 experts, we help to build your portfolio. We give you 100% of all the profit. Sound like a good deal? We do it for you, you get 100% of it, okay? And all the benefit, of course, and we do all the work. So when we say facilitated, it's truly about, we don't want you to have to be the expert. That's what we do. We do our job, you do yours, you continue to do what you love, and we do what we do. And we have a saying in our company that we say all the time, which is, if you want something done right, don't do it yourself. And again, that's kind of counterintuitive. Most people think, if I want it done right, I've got to do it myself. And for us, it's all about hiring the proper experts. Get people in your corner that are way better at it than you are, and you're going to see a whole lot more success. And so that's what this second option is for as well, because we truly do it all for you. Our done-for-you approach to real estate is where we find it, we buy it, we fix it, we finance it for you, we help you get it leased out, we manage it and maintain it for you. And then when you're ready for an exit strategy, we help you to sell it as well. And for Strongbrook, the way it works for us and why it's beneficial is we will earn your typical 5% in real estate fees with each transaction that's done. So as you're successful and you transact a great property, are you going to want to do it again? Just say yes. Yes, okay. Of course you will, right? If you did it right once and it's working for you and it's paying you residual income and it's increasing your net worth, are you going to want to do it again? Yes, of course you will. And for us, that's where the true benefit comes. As you do this again and again and again, in other words, we aren't successful unless you are, right? As this was working for you, you're going to do it again and again and again, and that's where we truly start to benefit as a company as well. So we try to create this in a win-win scenario. Now, here's how facilitated real estate works. You get your personal coach or your project manager, often is what we call them. They design your personalized game plan. They educate you on the growth and income markets. We also help you identify, access, and leverage those different assets. Remember about what I said about J.B. Shea, that French economist? He said creating wealth is taking assets from areas of low yield and putting them into areas of higher yield. So that's what we're going to help you to do, and that's what your coach will help you to do. We find and present deals that fit your game plan. We facilitate the financing, and then you make the decisions. Our experts just facilitate the execution. So again, we're doing it. We're the ones in the trenches. You're just kind of pointing the right direction and making sure that we're doing what it is that's pleasing to you and helping you grow and execute your game plan. All right. So let me give you an example here. Here's a home in Indianapolis. This is one of our hot markets. This is one of our cash flowing markets. And here's a home that was purchased for $89,900. The TOP financed, and TOP stands for total out of pocket, TOP, okay, is $25,975. The monthly rent on that home is $950 a month. The PITI, which is your mortgage payment basically, that's your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, okay? That's $465 a month. So your monthly cash flow, if you take that away from the $950, is $379, and the 5-year ROI is 65%. So if you divide that 5-year ROI by 5, you'll get your yearly ROI, which I think is around 13%, if I'm not mistaken, something around there, 12 to 13%. Great, that's an amazing return on your investment annualized. Strongbrook, so what we do is we specialize in a short-term buy and hold strategy of single-family homes that are bought below the median with very strict parameters. And those strict parameters do something that helps us to minimize the risk and maximize our profits. Again, having strict parameters or doing something that fits into a very small box. We talk about this small box in real estate all the time for us, because real estate is really a big, massive thing, right? It's huge. There's so many different types of real estate that you can do. There's different levels of homes and commercial, and you can do trust deeds and foreclosures and whatever. There's everything. Short sales. There's so many different types of real estate that you can focus on. But for us, it's about bringing it down into a very small niche box. And as long as we stay within that box, we can understand our parameters that are inside of that box. And it helps us create a whole lot more predictability. Now, I can't get rid of all risk. I never will be able to get rid of all risk in any investment, whatever it is. But what I can do is based on actual data and numbers, I can increase my level of predictability, and I can minimize or mitigate as much risk as I possibly can. Again, lower risk, greater profitability. Okay, so what I love about real estate is it does something that most other investments can't do, which is it grows dynamically. And what I mean by dynamic growth is I can have $1 working for me in multiple different locations. You can see here in this example, we've got one home. If I can help you buy this first home the right way, then I can help you take your funds out of this first home, the money out of this first home, and I can help you buy your next home with that. So you're holding on to this home still. You're just taking some money out, and with that money, you're buying your next property. Now, all of a sudden, your dollar here is working for you in two different places, right? You can't do that in the stock market. You can't do that in gold. You can't do that in anything else that I know of, where your dollar can literally go to work for you in multiple different locations. Then you can do the same thing again, take some money out of those, and have those homes buy your next couple properties. Okay? This is how real estate can start to grow dynamically for you and do something that most other investments just can't. So I really love this. And again, the key to this is buying that first home the right way. I can't tell you how many people I've met who bought their first home the wrong way. And it's not that stopped their game plan, it's just made us have to do get a little creative, right? We had to help them a little bit more. So if we can start better off the bat, it's always easier. But here we are, just a 20-year outlook. Starting with year one, we can show you how over 20 years we can grow 2 homes into 13 paid off free and clear homes with a residual income of over $130,000 a year and a net worth of $1.8 million. Now, with $130,000 annual income, I think we can start to think of retirement a little bit differently maybe. All of a sudden, retirement may look different. Maybe we don't have to go back to work. Maybe we have that freedom to do some of those things that we actually want to do. So this is all based on track record, and I'm glad we're here. I've been wanting to get to this slide for a while now because that track record is so important. This is where that predictability comes into play. We can look at our last 1,000 deals, and I know all of our averages. I know exactly where we are. I know that small box for us, right? So our average purchase price is about 137,000. Square feet is about 1,700. Average year built, 2002. Equity ROI, or return on investment, is 20+%. The cash on cash return on investment is about 13+%. Average price per square foot you see there is $62. Average property rehab, 7,000. Average vacancy, 42.4 days. That's huge. Out of a year, only 42.4 days vacancy. That's amazing. And again, I think one of the biggest questions I often receive from people are, hey, I just, I don't want to be a landlord, and I'm scared to, what if my tenant, what if I can't get a tenant in, and what if I can't keep them in? Well, again, this is where having a really long track record is really powerful for our clients, because that's, again, some of that predictability is helping them understand and plan for. We're not saying that you'll never have a vacancy. We're just saying our average is down to 42.4 days, which is amazing. So we help you plan for those vacancies that will happen, but we can guesstimate, what those will look like. And of course, average hours saved per deal is 341 expert hours that we spend on every single deal that we provide for our clients. So that's our track record. So what we do is when you get working with us, we assign you to our project manager. They connect you with our team of experts who then get you into the very best properties or find those best properties for you. We help you to fund, fix, lease, manage those properties. We then, creating the wealth is one thing, but we have to manage and protect it as well. So we help put a proper asset protection or a comprehensive asset protection in place for you as well. And then it's about expanding, growing, buying, selling as you're growing your portfolio, and you'll be just kind of circling around, going through your project manager again and again and again throughout this process. And your project manager, one of the best parts I love about what we do in our system with our project managers is you're not having to keep up necessarily on the ins and outs of your properties. Although you'll get all that information, it's yours, it's your home. Our project managers are constantly staying on it, and they give you a call and say, hey, John Doe, it looks like your property has increased in value. We just had to increase the rents because of this, that, and the other. Things are going really well. From the looks of it, you may be ready to buy property number 5 or property number 6. Are you ready to do so? Do you want to go ahead and maybe do a cash out refinance, pull some of that out, and go get get a little further along in your game plan? And so they're constantly looking at that, making sure that we're on top of it and you don't have to be. We're monitoring that for you on a monthly basis and quarterly basis as well. So I want to talk about how most individuals will work with us. we have something called our professional service agreements. And I want to talk about these and what these are, because we help you, again, to learn as well as to do real estate. Some of you may be interested just in the learning side of this, and some of you may say, hey, I don't want to learn it, just do it for me, right? This is going to help any one of you here. First of all, we have our Essentials Professional Service Agreement, which allows someone to do one home with us, as well as gives them access to one of our academy trainings, those quarterly trainings, okay? So you get access to come to one of those academy events. We then have our Empowerment Professional Service Agreement, which allows you to get up to 4 properties and access to 2 academy training events. Then we also have our 10-home Elite Professional Service Agreement, which again allows you to do 10 homes with us, get access to 8 academy training events. And then we have our Strongbrook Unlimited PSA, which gives you access to do unlimited homes with us and access to an unlimited amount of our academy training events as well, or those quarterly events. So no matter who you are and where you are in life right now, we've got something for everybody. And these programs, what we have, our education and done for you real estate really ranges from anywhere from $500 on up to $30,000. So we've got something for everybody there. So I want to talk about a couple different things here, because what you may be asking yourself is, well, which option is best for me? Is it the learn it and do it myself, or the learn it and we do it for you? And I'm not really 100% sure which is right for you, only you would know that. But what I do know is that everyone needs at least 2 things here. To receive a free custom game plan or free custom game plan and consultation, and come to one of our 3-day real estate wealth intensives. Now, why do we hold these 3-day real estate wealth intensives? Well, because they're super valuable. This is where we actually are able to pull back the curtain and teach exactly what we do and help people understand the ins and outs of how we've done what we've done over the last little while. So these real estate intensives are amazing. But I want to talk about business ownership for just a quick second, then I'll come back to that. Now, if 90% of millionaires made their money in real estate, what did 100% of millionaires make their money in? Business, right? 100% of millionaires made their money in some sort of business or another. That business may have been real estate, it may have been something else, right? But 100% of millionaires made their money in business of some sort. So in order to be really successful, you've got to understand and have a business line. You've got to be making money in some sort of business. So I want to help you understand what we do to help people accelerate their wealth growth by being able to also accelerate their real estate portfolio and growing that as well. And this is through our affiliate business. One of our creative real estate strategies is to earn money with our affiliate sweat equity strategy, where we help people to earn direct referral income up to $4,000. They earn overrides up to $1,000, and we also have a $35,000 home bonus that individuals can earn as they introduce more and more people to what we do here, and as those individuals transact real estate. You can see a number of people that have received some of these checks. There's Ryan Jane with his arm up, really excited. There's Sharon Walling and the Roberts and the Norrises have received actually quite a few of those checks. And those are wonderful checks, because with a $35,000 check, what can you do if you choose to? Well, you could accelerate your real estate portfolio. You can go out and purchase a property. And so those are really powerful ways to help people accelerate what they're doing in the real estate. And for individuals that right now maybe feel like they don't have enough money, or maybe their credit's not right, or they just need to prepare a little bit more, or they need to get into the creative side of real estate a little bit more, this is one way that we talked about network bird dogging. This is one way where individuals have been able to truly, quickly accelerate what they've been able to do and their ability to be able to get into even more real estate. So, a quick summary. How can we help you build wealth? Well, we've got our custom game plan. I put a $99 value on this. Honestly, this is probably worth a whole lot more than that. Had a guy come up to me just a couple weeks ago and said, Stephen, I've got my game plan that Chris did for me years ago. I think it was like 6 years ago that he had done this for him. And he still had it on his piece of paper. Back then we wrote it out on a piece of paper. Now we're a little bit more sophisticated. But he still had it. And it was powerful for him. So this game plan comes along with a 26-page report that we can email to you. It's unbelievable information and something that can benefit truly just about anybody, as well as a customized portion of that. And again, I put a value there of $99 on that, but I'll help you all know what you can do today to get that as well. we talked about this 3-day Strongbrook Real Estate Wealth Intensive. Now, this is a $499 per person value. This event is amazing. We talk about how to the best ways to transact real estate nationwide, unlocking your hidden assets by learning how to transact with and without money. We talk about learning learning how to minimize risk. Got a couple of things I got to tweak here in the slides. Out-of-pocket expense and cash in on the best tax write-offs. Learn from Strongbrook's 500 million experience. So we talk about all of what we've been doing. We really start to unveil and fold back the curtains on what we've been doing over the last 8.5 years, almost 9 years. And so much more. I'm not going to go through all these different points, but really this is one of the best 3 days that you could spend if you're serious about creating a different 2016. If you want to achieve the level of success that you imagined earlier in this conversation, as you were thinking about your dreams and what it is that you wanted to create, if you really want to do something different for yourself, then make the time. Commit to coming to our 3-day Wealth Intensive. Again, a value of $499 per person there. And then, of course, we also have our Limitless event, which is all about changing the real estate in between your ears, right? Changing your mindset, changing the way you think. Because as we change the way we think, we change the way we act, we change our outcome, okay? So this is all about claiming your birthright of prosperity and abundance, unlocking the transforming power of your body and mind, learning the trade secrets of mastering your mind, as well as getting through some of those biggest blocks in your life so you can crush your results. That's what this is all about. So what I want to do for you today is I want to give you a special offer. And this is something that's fairly new. It's only the last several weeks that we've really begun to implement this, and we wanted to create just a powerful experience for everyone. One of the biggest things that I've recognized in life is that if you want to get further on, if you want to get further in life, you need to be willing to invest in yourself. And that usually means invest time, invest some effort and energy, and invest some money. And I think, although it's funny, although time is our most valuable resource, we often act like money is. So we get scared, right? And, oh no, he's coming, he's going to talk about the money part. And we lock up a little bit, right? So just relax. I'm going to make this really easy for everybody. Okay? And what this looks like is what we've put together is something called the Strongbrook Experience. And the Strongbrook Experience is very simply, we include the $100 custom Strongbrook game plan, okay? We throw that in there. We include 2 tickets to our 3-day Wealth Intensive. Now again, that's a $998 value for 2 tickets. So you and a guest, okay, can come to this Wealth Intensive. And by the way, this Wealth Intensive is also live streamed. So if you're here online, same ticket, you'll get to come either live or live online. Either way, we'll send you a unique private link for that. Okay, we'll also give you 2 tickets to our 3-day Limitless event, and that is an in-person event. So if you're anywhere in the nation, we have people fly in from all over the place all the time. That is an event that you'll want to come in here live for. But those are 2 tickets that are valued at $998 for the 2 as well. Okay, so you and one other person. And so all of that, we could easily charge $2,096, and that would be a steal. Again, I can't tell you how much value are packed into those 2 events now for 2 people. So it's 2 people coming to 2 different events, as well as that $100 custom game plan for you and a guest as well. So honestly, we should probably put a $200 value there. But anyway, that's a $2,096 value that we are offering now for $138. So my recommendation, my invitation to everyone here that's listening online or here in the room, if you haven't already received one, is to invest in yourself. Invest the $138 in yourself today. Do something right now that will change your financial outlook. That'll change your whole life potentially. As you work on yourself and change yourself, it really starts to go into all aspects of your life, your relationships, your finances, your intellectual, ability, everything. Whatever it is that you're looking to improve, your body, whatever it is you want to improve upon for 2016. $138 as an investment in yourself. I want you just to think for a second. How many of you went out to dinner this weekend? You maybe spent that at dinner, right? Maybe you went out and got your hair done or your nails done, or I don't know, right? Whatever the case is, we often will spend money on things that are frivolous and won't get us to where we want to be. take a moment, and maybe even for the first time in some of your lives, invest in yourself, really. Truly invest in yourself. Take that $138 and invest in yourself today, and I will promise you'll get the value out of that. It's amazing value. So there is one other option I just want to talk about here, is the Strongbrook Experience Plus, our mentoring network. And this is everything above, including our $100,000 plus mentoring network. And this is really, I think we've got almost over $250,000 worth of mentoring available on this mentoring network from some of the top names in the industry, like you saw earlier. So if you want to really jumpstart your results, you want to get into option number 2 as well, which is everything option number 1 has, but also allows you to start earning money with us as well. It's a $138 investment in yourself, and then starting the next month is at $99 per month, which gives you access to our entire $100,000 plus mentoring network. So let me just go ahead and close out here. I just want to tell you, first of all, it's been a pleasure, and I'm extremely grateful for you taking your time to be with us today. If you're here watching this right now, it says a lot about your character. Here we are in between the holiday seasons. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve. We just had Christmas. Usually, most of us, I would say 97% of us, want to shut down for this time frame. And if you're here right now and you're watching this, you're listening to this, it's because you want to do things differently. I invite you to make a different decision for yourself today and invest right now in yourself to make 2016 the very best year ever. Once you make that investment in yourself, you will also receive notification on how to register for these different events. We have these events every single month, and we make it very, very easy for you. And they're just phenomenal events. And I'll even go one further. If you don't get the value out of those events, I'll give you your money back. Okay? So 100% satisfaction guarantee on those events. Okay? I don't know if I can make it any easier for anybody, right? So invest in yourself. It'll be the best investment that you ever made. $138 at least to start and creating the best year that you've ever had. Everyone, my name is Stephen Michael Miller. I'm one of the founders here at Strongbrook. I invite you to join us. Thank you so much for spending your time with us this evening, and I wish you to have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.